When Apple launched the MacBook Neo, it set a new standard for $600 laptops, but the market moves fast. The Neo has already been hit with a $100 price hike, and Dell responded by dropping their brand new, ultra sleek XPS 13 right into the $700 ring. Some are calling this the ultimate MacBook killer, but is the XPS 13 really the new budget king, or does Apple still hold the crown? I put both of these to the test to find out which one actually deserves your money. I originally bought my MacBook Neo because I wanted a thinner and lighter alternative to my MacBook Pro, which it is. But then I picked up the XPS 13 and it made me jealous. Budget Windows 11 laptops are known for being chunky and ugly, but the XPS 13 is just as thin and about half a pound lighter, and it's definitely noticeable. That said, the Neo still looks and feels a bit more premium. There's zero keyboard deck flex, while the XPS 13 has a little bit of give. Apple also wins for color choices, though Dell's more muted colors read as a more professional choice if that's what you're after. Both of these offer USB-C ports, but the XPS 13 plays it smarter with one on each side for easier charging, and both of these run at full USB 3.2 speeds. Apple put both of their ports on the left side and restricted one to a much slower USB 2.0 speed, which I don't love. However, Apple did keep the 3.5mm headphone jack, which you will not find on the Dell. But what do you think? Is missing a headphone jack still a deal breaker for you in 2026, or have you gone 100% wireless? Opening these up, you actually get a slightly larger 13.4-inch display on the XPS versus the Neo's 13 inches. And thanks to its thinner bezels, the XPS is actually smaller than the Neo. As a bonus, the XPS 13 also has touch support, something Apple has historically refused to bring to their MacBooks. That said, Windows 11 still can't replace a tablet experience, but being able to tap to close tabs or drag windows is still very convenient. Outdoors, I think I have to give the edge to the MacBook Neo screen. It might be hard to tell on camera, but the Neo looks brighter and more vibrant and is just easier to read. But you know what's not brighter? The keyboard. The XPS actually has a 2-level backlit keyboard, which is something I really wish my Neo had. For the trackpad though, both use a mechanical click pad instead of the fancier haptic ones that you'll find on pricier models. Neither one feels particularly premium, but they are both decently sized and responsive, which is all I really need. Something unique to the Neo though is a fingerprint reader, which I really like for faster logins. You'll have to upgrade to the higher storage configuration for an extra $100, but I do think it is worth that cost. While the XPS 13 skips a fingerprint reader entirely, you can use Windows Hello Face login with its camera instead, which does get the job done. But speaking of webcams, the Neo just looks better. I'm seeing superior contrast and color accuracy, while the XPS 13's webcam looks more washed out and makes my skin tone look pretty weird if I'm being honest. Now let's talk power and memory, because this is where buying the right configuration can get tricky. At the base $699 price, Dell actually gives you double the storage at 512 gigabytes. 256 gigabytes on a 2026 laptop fills up pretty quick, making Dell's base model feel like a better value from that perspective. In terms of raw benchmarks though, Apple's A18 Pro chip beats the Intel Core 5 in both single and multi-core performance. With matching 8GB models, macOS manages its memory a lot better than Windows 11, which makes the Neo feel a lot snappier. However, for more demanding workflows, say 25 browser tabs open while streaming a video and editing photos, 8GB on either of these will easily bottleneck. That said, if you're willing to invest an extra $200, which isn't nothing, Dell lets you spec the XPS 13 with 16GB of RAM, making it the better choice for heavy multitasking. The Neo is always going to be stuck with 8GB of RAM, which might push you towards the MacBook Air until you realize that starts at $1299, which really isn't apples to apples. Good news for students though, both of these laptops offer an educational discount that takes $100 off the price. We've already got a great video on our channel that you can check out, which breaks down how well the MacBook Neo's battery life holds up against other MacBooks. But how well does it compare to the new XPS 13? The XPS 13 manages to last about an hour and a half longer than the Neo in our 150-nit continuous web surfing test, delivering about 15 hours of runtime. It also wins on charging speeds. The XPS 13 ships with a much faster 65-watt charger, and yes, it can actually charge at those speeds. The Neo, in very Apple fashion, only ships with a 20-watt charger despite supporting faster 30-watt speeds. So when it comes to charging both of these quickly, the XPS 13 absolutely smokes the Neo. So, which $700 laptop actually wins? It isn't the clean sweep I thought it would be, but here's what you need to know. Get the XPS 13 if you want maximum hardware value, a touchscreen, longer battery life, backlit keys, and the option to upgrade to 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's overall the stronger hardware pick. But go with the MacBook Neo if you're already deep into Apple's ecosystem or simply want a fingerprint reader. Honestly, I can't even blame you for being reeled in by the color options either. Look, with how expensive everything has become, I think both of these laptops offer incredible value, but let me know which one you think is worth your money. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more head-to-head comparisons. Follow me to see what other cool tech I'm reviewing, and until the next one, I'll catch you later.